You might feel like your kitchen is always a mess and super hard to keep clean. I know I've definitely felt that way too, and let's be honest, the kitchen is usually the busiest room in our entire home. So let me show you what I like to do on a weekly basis to keep my kitchen nice and clean. Now, the first thing on my checklist is I like to reset and spot clean my refrigerator. Now, this is by no means a deep clean. The first thing I like to do is just go through and check my food, make sure nothing's expired, spoiled, or rotten. Plus, when I'm kind of doing this, I like to just grab everything and kind of rearrange it because throughout the week, it kind of gets to be a little bit chaotic. So this is a great time to reset everything too. Now, the other thing I like to do is pay attention if there's anything sticky or kind of that needs to be spot cleaned in there. I like to just give it a quick wipe down. I'll just use my DIY vinegar mix for this. The reason being is if I get it right away and clean it up, it's not gonna sit there and get really sticky, attract dirt, and be tougher to clean down the road. The other thing I've really noticed when I keep up with this on a weekly basis is not only does my refrigerator smell good, but my kitchen too. Now, a quick pro tip is I do like to do this the day before I go grocery shopping. That way, when I come home with a fresh load of groceries, the refrigerator is ready to go. So next up on the checklist is the microwave. Now, obviously this is something that gets a lot of use in your kitchen. And if you're like me, you use it just about every single day. And pretty much all the food you cook in here is going to splatter and leave some sort of grease and grime behind. Now, I will say if you do use a splatter guard, this is gonna really help keep it clean so you don't have to deep clean it as often. To clean, I like to just grab my DIY vinegar mix and a microfiber towel, and usually I just spray everything down and pay special attention to the ceiling here because that's where the splatter usually goes up. Now, another area after you get the inside clean is to clean the outside. Oftentimes this is forgotten, but the keypad here and the handle will kind of get a little grimy and you might get some dried, crusty food on there. If you had kids at home, you've experienced this. And so just give that a quick wipe down and get it looking nice and clean. The next thing on the checklist here is our stovetop and to wipe down appliances. Now, to start with the stovetop, obviously all of us have a different type at home. For me, I have a glass cooktop here, and I will say these can be a little challenging to keep clean. If you have one, you probably already know that. But what I like to do with these is at least clean them once a week with just a little bit of Dawn Power Wash and a Scrub Mommy. This does a great job to cut through all the grease and grime buildup. But I will say, if you do have really a glass cooktop or any type of cooktop, it's always a good idea to clean them after every meal that you cook on the top here. Reason being is you get a lot of splatter, and if you really let that go for an extended period of time, it just gets more and more baked on, and it's harder to keep clean. Something kind of interesting when it comes to cleaning glass cooktops is you actually can hear the areas that are clean and dirty while you're scrubbing. Listen to this. So you notice this area definitely has a little bit more buildup because you can hear it while you scrub. So just a tip there, use your ears while you're cleaning. Now, if you do have a glass cooktop that is really dirty and has some bad baked on grease and grime, don't worry, I have a full step-by-step video. I'll put a link for that down in the description below. Definitely check that one out. Now, something specific I do for my kitchen every week, and if you have a refrigerator like this, you probably do it too, is the ice and water dispenser here in the front always drips, leaves hard water inside the little tray here and along the front of the refrigerator. So to fix that, I like to just use some Barkeeper's Friends soft cleanser and a Scrub Mommy. Now, I will say I like to warm up the Scrub Mommy in some hot water so it's nice and soft. I'll apply about a mustache amount to the Scrub Mommy, scrub that in the front of the stainless here and in the little tray. Let it set for about a minute, then I come through with a damp microfiber towel, make sure everything's rinsed and dry and buff with a clean microfiber towel to finish. Now, if you're wondering where to get this checklist and others like it, I actually have these available for the Clean Squad members over on my Patreon. Check the link down in the description below to sign up. Similar to my bathroom cleaning checklist, I also have on the kitchen one here to refill soap and replace towels. Now, when it comes to the soap, obviously I make sure the hand soap's all nice and stocked, but I also make sure all my dishwashing soaps are ready to go. That way I have them when I need them. The other nice thing too about replacing your towels is just over time it seems like they kind of get a little stinky and a little musty in your kitchen, so fresh towels even helps the area smell better. The next thing on the list here is to wipe down the countertops and spot clean the cabinets. Now, in my house, I do usually wipe down the countertops at least once a day, usually after dinner, but I do like to come through once a week and make sure to move everything out, spray down some cleaner and wipe them all down. That way I'm getting kind of every square inch and I'm not leaving any crumbs or anything that might build up behind. Now, these are quartz, so I like to use just a little bit of Dawn and some water in a spray bottle just to be extra safe. That way I'm not gonna cause any damage. But the all-purpose cleaner you use at home might be a little different depending on what type of countertops you have. The reason I have spot clean cabinets on here is, like I mentioned with the microwave, if you have kids, sometimes there can be fingerprints and things, especially if you have white. I love the look of white cabinets, but boy, are they hard to keep clean. So just while I'm wiping down the countertops, I'll come through with that same mix of just a little bit of Dawn and water and just kind of wipe down those high touch areas, look for any fingerprints and make sure there's nothing left behind. The next thing on the checklist is to clean the kitchen sink. And I gotta be real, this is usually my favorite job after cleaning the kitchen just because it's so satisfying and I kind of feel like it's a little zen just kind of scrubbing there and you kind of can look out and enjoy all the things you just cleaned in your kitchen. Now to do this, I like to use just a little bit of Dawn Power Wash first. That gets rid of kind of all the grease and grime that kind of builds up on your sink. And then I come through with some Barkeeper's Friend Soft Cleanser, scrub that in really well. That's gonna get rid of all the hard water, give everything a good rinse. And the pro tip is to always come through with a dry, clean microfiber cloth to really buff and shine the surface. Now, if you have a black composite sink like me, I do recommend coming through with some mineral oil after a good deep clean. That way you can oil the sink and it really brings out the shine. The last thing on the list is to clean the floors. I start by just picking up the rugs and then give those a quick shake outside if I have time. Now, you might notice throughout this entire video, we've kind of been cleaning from top to bottom. So any crumbs that were on the countertop, stovetop, or anywhere else in the kitchen, by this point should be on the floor. So what I like to do is come through with my vacuum, suck all that up, then I'm gonna grab my neutral pH floor cleaner and my flat mop and give the floors a quick clean. And there you have it. Now you know my weekly routine to keep my kitchen clean. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video helpful or if you're new here, consider subscribing to the channel and don't forget to hit that like button. I also need to give a huge shout out to the Clean Squad over on Patreon. If you want to join us over there and get your very own checklist just like this one here, check the link down in the description below. And as always, we'll see you on the next clean.